So Claude is watermarking its text, and other companies probably will be soon, but to get around this, you need to know how it works. And it's not too difficult, but I have been seeing three really common misconceptions about how it works. First, it does not use weird characters like the M dash or those curly quotes. Second, it doesn't always use certain words more, like delve. And third, I saw some people saying that it boosts the odds of certain words that it picks and changes those each time, but it's not exactly doing that. So if it's not using certain words or characters or changing the odds of stuff, how is it detecting that stuff is AI generated? Well, thankfully, Anthropic shared this paper in their blog post, and I had Claude Code make a simpler version so you can see how it works. But let's start with the paper. They give an easy to follow example. My favorite tropical fruit is blank. And there's a 50% chance it's mango, 30% lychee, whatever. So it picks randomly 8 times using those odds and puts them into a little tournament. You can see that mango is in here 4 times because it has a 50% chance, and like durian is in here once because there's only a 5% chance. Okay, what does a tournament have to do with watermarking text? We'll get there. So you score all of them, giving them a 0 and a 1 in each round of the tournament, and the winner moves on. If they tied, you just pick either one of them, and then the winner of the whole tournament becomes the next token. And these scores is where the watermark takes place. They have to depend on 3 things. First is a key, so Anthropic is the only one who can detect their watermark. Second is the token in the tournament, and third is the text before it, because if it only depended on the token and the key, then certain ones that score higher would just get used more, and you don't want that. And if it's watermarked, you'll see more tokens that scored higher, and if it's not watermarked, it'll just be kind of random. How do you actually make the scores? Well, a really easy way is you can literally just have like the letters A through Z just be like a number 1 through 26, and then you can just add all of those up for your token and for, let's say, the 10 letters right before it. And then you can also add that to another number, and that number will be your key. And now you have a number, which is closer to a score than words. And what you can do with that number is just write it in binary, which conveniently is 0s and 1s and will kind of look random. And you can just take the last 3 1s or 0s and have those be your scores in the tournament. And this makes detecting it really easy because all you have to do is for each token, just grab the 10 letters before it, add them all up and add your key, and you can see how it scores in the tournament. But this is not perfect. You might notice that there is a dark red in this watermarked text. Here, the 8 random picks for the next token were all 8s, because that's the only way you can finish captive. So even though it scored a 0, it still wins the tournament. But after lightning strikes, you could follow that up with a lot of different things, so here the score actually matters. And now that you understand how it works, how do you actually get around it? First off, if you use smaller amounts of text, it cannot distinguish a watermark from just luck. These short poems had a 1 in 10,000 chance of being this green if it wasn't generated by AI. But with something this large, it becomes 1 in a trillion. So the first way is using shorter text, and the other way is just actually rewriting it, either by yourself or using a tool like this.